think the next, I don't know if I have it on the screen. The one over here. The next verse here, I'm just going to say it. I don't have it on the screen, inshallah ta'ala. I'm just going to go over it. We'll just go, this is the last ayah, inshallah ta'ala, that we'll go over for today. I'm going to cut it a little bit earlier. Honestly, I was really sick last night. I was going to cancel class, but I'll just fight through it, inshallah ta'ala. So I'm trying to shake this sickness. I canceled my PM speech last night. I canceled another program today. But I didn't want to cancel this class, so I said, inshallah ta'ala, I'll do it. I'm going to go to sleep right afterwards, inshallah ta'ala. I can't wait. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in verse number 8, Allah tataghaw fil mizan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no, I'll just actually let you look at my notes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you guys can see that, there you go. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah tataghaw fil mizan. In order that you not transgress the balance. Right? So what is the balance? What is tawdu? What is tughyan? Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means that this means that don't overstep the boundaries or limits, or don't be unjust, or don't be oppressive, if you will. Right? So there's a couple things here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't oppress the balance Allah has given you. Right? And everything we know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a certain balance in terms of wrong and right and stuff that we need to do. So don't step over those limits. And one thing in the hadith class that some of you guys were here for, we talked about doubtful matters. Right? Things that you're unsure of. I don't know if that's halal, I don't know if that's haram. I'm not too sure, so maybe I could try that food, or maybe I could invest my money into this this company or this account or something. That we said the default on these type of things to do, it's better that you stay away from it, right? Doubtful matters. So you don't overstep the limits and then you fall into haram. Because when you get into doubtful matters, sometimes once you're in it, it's hard for you to pull out of it, right? Whether that's, you can take extreme example of like gambling or something like that. People can't get out of those type of lifestyles, or drinking, or whatever it may be, right? People have pornography issues and stuff like that. They can't get out of these cycles of looking at these pictures and looking at these movies, and they're stuck in these addictions, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, stop, right? Watch out this balance that we have given you, so you do not transgress it, this mizan that we have given you, right? So what is meant here by the word mizan? It includes justice, what is used to measure the weight things in buying and selling. So one thing is that back in the day, in the Arabs, actually I can't say back in the day, but even now, which could be sad, it could be good, but even like when I was in Egypt, like when you go to the grocery store, or at least when you go to the faqih here, the guy who sells fruits, right? He still has a mizan, he still has a balance. So you actually put the fruits on one end, and then he puts weights on the other end, and then you know it's 2 pounds of oranges, right? Like, you know, Bonds or Albertsons, no one has this anymore. They have a little scale. Who knows if that's even calibrated? That's another issue you should ask about, right? But you know, they put that, they know how much you buy, and then they give you the price. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do not transgress the balance. So one way you could take it is balance in terms of justice, general, don't like be oppressive. But another thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could be rebuking the Arabs at the time is that don't cheat the balance in your scales. One thing, like when they used to trade, you know, they put food on one side or whatever they're selling, and they used to put fake weights on the other end. Either it might say like 3 pounds, but it's really 5 pounds. Or, sorry, the opposite. It's 1 pound, but it's actually less. So like, oh, you're actually getting 1 pound, but it's actually less, if you will. They hollowed out the weight in the middle or something like that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do not transgress, don't lie and cheat in your business transactions, right? And that's something those who maybe have small business owners, is to watch out for things like this, right? Where you're hitting costs that you put on people, and the things that people add, and you know they oppress people in the way they sell and during their business transactions. So that's one way you could take it, is that to be, don't, in terms of weighting things, buying and selling. And the word mizan has a joint meaning that between justice and truth, and the physical scale. So you could take two meanings here, if you will, right? So here's justice, is we say here is the more of the applicable meaning here. As mentioned above in the verse that came before it, that having the proof that all of it can take its meaning in terms of either it's a physical balance or a metaphorical balance in terms of justice and so forth, right? So you can take one of the two meanings, or you can take both of them, if you will, here. So inshallah, I didn't necessarily put up the verses on the screen for the next couple of verses here. So I'm just going to stop here, inshallah ta'ala. We did cover almost like an hour, so that's not too bad. I want to make your time. I know you guys drove from far. So hopefully next week, inshallah, I think I'll feel a lot better, inshallah. Hopefully we'll do a lot more, and we'll cover more of the surah. So this is a couple of things about the ayat, at least of surah, at least the first 8 verses of Surah Rahman. And if anyone had any questions or comments about Surah Rahman at all, in terms of any of the things that we went over, and like I said, if anyone's really down to memorize it, I'll do it with you inshallah ta'ala. I memorized it multiple times before, but I guess I need to refresh myself. So I'm willing to do that if anyone wants to do that with me. It's kind of like the read with me campaign, but it's like memorize with me campaign. I'm doing all these type of campaigns now. I think I'm doing a little bit too much so I could bear myself. But it's Ramadan, it's supposed to try to push yourself. So alhamdulillah. So yes. So if you want to do that, inshallah, let me know. We can start next week. I have a schedule of how many verses that you're supposed to memorize if you want to do it in 4 weeks. So it's around 20 or so, right? So it's 78 verses. So if you do 20 verses for 4 weeks, you get 80 verses. So if you do the first 20, by next week, inshallah ta'ala, I'll go over that with you. Or if not, it's up to you, inshallah ta'ala. Right? One thing is good to memorize Quran in the month of Ramadan, obviously, for multiple reasons. Questions or comments before we end?
For the word sky, we know from science there's no physical thing as sky. So in Quran, when it says sky, does it mean not the stars and planets?
Yes, there you go. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, another thing also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that He makes sab'a samawat, 7 skies. And some people mistranslate it, it's called 7 heavens. Now there's a difference between heavens and skies. So meaning that there's the 7 skies above us, we're in the one of them. So there's 7 realms, if you will. Right? Now how do you understand that? Well, that's why it's called the unseen, you have to believe in it. Right? So there's 7 jannat, or 7 heavens, and then there's 7 skies. So here the sky is whatever we see that's on front, the canopy that we see in the night, which is light years away, right, that we're seeing, right? So that's all this one sky that Allah made, right? That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Al-Jannah, it's as big as the samawat. It's as big as the skies and the heavens. So Allah used the word skies. So when Allah listens to Surah Al-Imran, verse 132, I believe, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the width and the length of Jannah is as big as the skies and the earth. So here he makes a differentiate between heavens and skies.
Ayah 133.
133, I think so. Let me get the verse for you. I should know this verse. Let me get 1 second. So yeah, so that's basically everything that's above us. And that's honestly, وَسَارِعُوا لِمَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّاتٍ, and heaven, أَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Ard means width. Its width is the sky, samawat, wal-ard. And all the skies are ard, so used in singular, meaning earth, right? So that's how big the heavens is. Right? Look how big. Forget about all the skies. Just look at this one sky, right? I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures that shows like the whole universe, or they try to see the whole universe and the solar system and Milky Way galaxy and all this kind of stuff. It's just like incomprehensible in terms of we're like one like small dot on this like tablecloth. That's who we are, right? And everything else is like 10 times bigger than us, right? There's this star in whatchamacallit in Orion. You guys know Orion's belt. It's called Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse. You can pronounce it both ways. It's not a cartoon character, but anyhow. So it's called Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse, and it's as big as like 100 times in our solar system, right? Or the sun or something like that. I think it's the sun actually, right? You can't even comprehend how big that is. Like we're so small sometimes. So Jannah is like amazingly big. So the sky, like I said, there's 6 more above us. Right? Imagine how powerful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to be obviously bigger than that. Allah doesn't have a form, but obviously He's bigger than anything. So that should humble you like crazy when you pray and just think about who you're worshiping, right? And just also to ponder on this creation, go back to the sky, like I told him, really big on this whole astronomy type thing. But just like the sun, how big the sun is, right? The earth is like a speck in front of the sun. And that shows how far that, even though we look at the sun and like it's hot today, oh my God, the sun is so bright. But if you know actually the sunlight that comes to earth is actually 8 minutes already old. So when you see the sunlight, you're seeing 8 minutes old already. Because of light has to take time to travel. So when you see the sun, it's already that's already how it looked 8 minutes ago. So actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the sun away, we wouldn't know 8 minutes later. The sun actually ran out of fuel, which would be really scary, but anyhow. Hopefully we won't be alive during that time, but inshallah Allah protect us. But that's just amazing to show that. All these different types of things, right? Things are light years away, like the closest galaxy, I forgot how much it is, like 10 or 13 light years away. So when you look at it through a telescope, which you can, that's how it looked 10 years ago. So, it's crazy. Like 10 years ago, you're looking at something 10 years ago, right? It could be gone right now, but we won't know until 10 years later that, Andromeda, whatever one of those galaxies that we have, is gone, right? Or something like this. So this, it's really interesting, subhanAllah. I think all you guys should get this app on your phone. It's called Star Trek or Star Chart. And then you can look up at the sky and it'll show you what you're looking at just by holding up your phone, which is pretty amazing. Right?
So this Japanese scientist, he's probably atheist or Buddhist. So he was saying that the galaxy, there are millions of galaxies.
Yeah.
And he's trying to find out what's the boundary of everything. Where does everything end? So he's saying the most frustrating thing for him is like living in the middle of the bubble, not knowing the boundary of the bubble.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. You don't even know where the ending
So
is.
can he find his answers in Quran?
He can find it. I mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He has made everything and He has made the universe and He's expanding it. I forgot the exact ayah. But Allah said that He's expanding. One thing that NASA and the JPL scientists have came to a conclusion that the universe is expanding. It's not shrinking, it's actually expanding. Everything is getting further away from each other. We're coming further away from the sun, but it's like centimeters or something, right? But everything is expanding out. So therefore, that if you did find that boundary, it's still continuing. Well, what is that boundary, right? It's not like you come up and you just hit like an imaginary wall. And like, well, how far could you get that? We don't have anything that could get that far. We barely have the longest, probe that we have just went into like I forgot what the Kuiper belt they call it, or Kuiper belt, which is like beyond, it's where Pluto's at and stuff like that. That's the furthest that we've gone. We haven't gone anything further than that. And then if we did, I don't know if it could even be singled back, so we wouldn't even know, right? So we're seeing all these galaxies, but we don't even know exactly where the boundaries are, which is it really humbles you. SubhanAllah, this was created by nothing, by a bang. That's kind of like unjust to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness. Are you going to say something? Oh, okay. I go with the whole astronomy thing for like all day long, but I'm still
I have a question, a little off topic, but something that you mentioned the other day, talking about how the angels knew what mankind was going to be like, and you mentioned that jinn had already existed on this earth before mankind. I haven't heard about it. I would like to know a little bit more about that.
Right, so that's one of the narrations. One thing we know that jinn were created before mankind. That's one thing. And then it was said in one of the narrations is that the jinn were already on this earth, and they fell into the same issue that we fell in. They were all good at the beginning, and then they started having envy and all that type of corruption, and started killing each other. And so it's mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in some of the narrations of this hadith, and Ibn Kathir mentions it in his Tafsir, that Allah sent angels down to fight them off and stop this their fighting, and pretty much kill most of them off. Now that's the reason why Iblis was in the crowd of the angels when Allah asked the angels to prostrate to Adam, because he was actually one of the good ones. So they'll say that he was one that helped the angels fight against the bad jinn, if you will. So because he was actually quite righteous, Allah kept him with the angels. So when Allah said for all of you to prostrate, and then Iblis said, I'm not going to prostrate because I'm better than him. I'll make him smoke this fire, right? So that's one of the reasons why, I'm kind of adding to your answer now, why he was in that presence. So that's what it's understood, that one of the narrations that they were already on this earth and they were causing corruption, and angels were like, look at these guys. You're causing another creation that has free will, that's going to cause them to end up falling into what the same thing the jinn did. So that's one of the opinions. Another opinion is that Allah told them that these people are going to end up differing and fighting each other and causing corruption. So then they're saying, like, why would you do that for, right? And then Allah says, Inni a'lamu wa la ta'lamun. I know what you do not know, meaning that I know there's going to be righteous those among them. There's going to be prophets among them. There's going to be those who are truthful among them. There's going to be ones who will be charitable among them. And that's it. So that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala meant. I don't know if I answered the question. Yeah. So that's what it says. Yeah, there's not much, honestly, these narrations about the details, like where did they live and so forth, and did they have, how their colonies were. But we know about the jinn, and we're going to learn a lot in Surah Rahman, because Allah refers to them a lot of times in Surah Rahman. Which of the favors of both of your lords do you deny? Allah uses it in the dual, meaning that mankind and jinn, which of your favors of your Lord is going to deny? And so that's one of the opinion is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps on saying this verse in Surah Rahman, Allah is addressing the mankind and addressing the jinn. Which of the favors of your Lord can deny? And we said the jinns are, like I said, made of smokeless fire. They said that they're like a light. They're more like some Sheikh Yasir Qadi was saying that they're more like an energy, right? They could change form, right? And they could fly, like they have speed. like as quick as eye. And this comes from the Quran, the Surah Suleiman, not Surah Suleiman, sorry, the story of Suleiman alayhi salam, where he told them, he had control of the jinns, and we go over that story in the Quran, and he told the jinns who could go to the Queen Saba, right, the Queen Sheba, and take her throne. And one of the jinns said, I could do that like the blink of an eye. And boom, boom, he came back and he brought the throne. Right? And so that's actually proof that they were that fast. Right? They were really quick. And so there's different forms. One thing is that they're, like I said, they're made from smokeless fire. And so one thing is that there's a story, going into jinn story, I'm just going to say it. So there's one scholar, which I trust, he was saying that he's from Cambodia, when back, they cook and they have their pots outside. And so they had a bunch of hot water. And so what they did, this lady, she threw hot water out of her window. They threw it outside in the garden. Maybe they didn't have proper drainage or something. I don't know, maybe in the village or something. And so if you think about it, jinn is made from smokeless fire. So what will take out smokeless fire is water. And boiling hot water obviously would hurt pretty much anyone. And so what happened is this lady's trying to get bothered by something that was bothering her. And he said he had to go talk to her. And what happened, found out there was a jinn that was bothering her because the jinn was burned by the water that was thrown on him. And so it was bothering this lady, and so the imam had to talk to the jinn and tell the jinn, like, get away and leave her alone, like, she didn't mean it, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was like a conversation. It was kind of weird. And you probably saw YouTube videos, and some of you guys have probably experienced people that talk in different, like, who have been, quote unquote, possessed by jinn, and they talk like craziness, and they have a different type of voice. And I personally experienced it before. I've seen people do this. Whether they're acting, whether they're putting on a show, we could put all that in there. One thing is that so there's two different opinions. Number one, there's a group that says that jinns could possess people. And there's another group that says that it's all mental disorder, if you will, right? Schizophrenia, this type of thing. And there's a group that says that, it's a combination of the two. It could be schizophrenia, it could be mental issues, and it could be bipolar, issues. And it could be that, jinn do affect people. And I think that opinion is the most correct, that jinn do affect people. And there's a lot of proof for that in the Sunnah. And also in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. And so going back to this, that the jinn finally left that person. And so that's why some scholars have said that, when you go into your house, you should read Surah Baqarah, it will take all the evil jinn, or the shayateen, out of your house. So if you can't recite Surah Baqarah, you at least could play it on your phone or your computer, and it will scare them away. And it says them away for like 3 days or 3 weeks. I forgot exactly what it is. And it says they like to stay in like corners of the house, like dark areas. That's why they say most of them live in forests. And there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ relating to this about Surah Rahman. When he recited Surah Rahman to the jinn, he came back and told his companions, I was with the jinn and I recited Surah Rahman to them. And I told them that, that he told the jinn, he promised them that you would find meat on the bones of the Muslims when they throw away their bones. When they say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim before they eat. So the one thing we say, the food of the jinn are bones. That's why the Prophet said that you should not use a bone to clean yourself when you use the bathroom. Alhamdulillah, we have Charmins and we have 4-ply toilet paper now. But back in those days, you used to use stones and leaves and bones and stuff like that to clean themselves, right? Try to use a T-bone steak next time you use the bathroom, see how you feel, right? Don't cut yourself, right? So anyhow, so that's what the Prophet said, do not use these when you clean yourself. It's a disgrace to it. And it's food for them. So if you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim when next time you eat your chicken tikka masala and whatever else you eat, right? Your barbecue chicken, and you throw it in the trash. There's no problem throwing it in the trash. I'm not telling you should take bones and place them in your backyard and put them in a nice place and a plate and put some barbecue sauce on it. Don't do those type of weird stuff. Just put them in your trash. And the jinn will find it, don't worry. They've been doing it for a long time. They know how to get their food, just how cats going to get go into their trash can, right? And they will eat, and they'll eat, and if you say Bismillah on the bones, and they'll be meat. Imaginary meat or meat you cannot see, and they'll eat from it. So there's a whole notion about jinn and their world and what they do. So it's definitely proof that they were first of all created before us, and they were on earth, and for sure they were on earth, and they were living before us, and that was one of the notions that they were already causing corruption. And then the angels want to say, why would you do something? And it's not because the angels, one thing I want to make the point, it's not because the angels were have a rivalry with us. Like, why you create another being? Like, we praise you a lot. We don't want your attention going to them. That's not what it is. We don't want it to have that type of notion where they have that there's some type of rivalry or something.
Question. So you said, you know, how the good jinnat came in and, you know, they overtook the bad ones, right? Is that, the Quran is silent on that, right? It's from the authentic
Hadith and Ibn Abbas, there's narration for that, yeah.
Okay. So, and then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was addressing them, telling them that He's going to create a human being, right? So there was just a crowd of good ones, or
It was for the angels, but
Right.
Iblis was there amongst them.
right?
So we only know that he was the only jinn that was there amongst them. Was there other jinns that were there that did prostrate? That we don't know of, and that someone could ponder on that. But I wouldn't urge you to go into that field too much. So it could have been other jinns that are there and they listened, but Iblis said, you know what? No, this doesn't make any sense. And arrogance and racism, if you want to call it, entered his heart, right? And that's the reason why I understand it. So, but the angels did. Nothing else but the angels. They questioned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why are you going to make it? But they're still obedient. That's the difference between angels and jinns. Is that angels are always obedient. They always follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does, even though they have opinion. They have questions. Why? Why are you going to do this for? Right? Like there's another narration when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told an angel to go to the city and destroy that city. And the angel came back to Allah and said, Allah, you want me to destroy the city, but there's a worshiper of you in the city. So how am I going to destroy it? He's worshiping you. Right? Because they had a question. So they have a rationale. Angels have rationale. Right? So they do ponder and they think and they have some type of rational thinking. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this story here that start the punishment with him because he's only staying in his house, he's not warning his people, he's not carrying out any good. Which is a tangential lesson for us that if you're Muslim and you're armchair Muslim, you're just sitting down on your couch, you're not promoting good, that could be a punishment coming to you. That you're supposed to actually promote that. That's why Allah's put you on the earth. That's why He made you a Khalifa on earth, if you will. That's a lot of points that we can take there. Anything else? Any questions? Maha, you have a question? No. You're just taking notes. I'm drawing pictures. Right, inshallah ta'ala. Once my apologies for cutting it a little short. Questions actually took a bit of a hard So inshallah ta'ala we'll continue with that. You'll see us start to get really more in depth about some of the stuff Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be talking about. There's a lot of very beautiful linguistic points that are going to be coming up. Inshallah you guys are going to bring up. So it's good because you don't really get these points in the English Tafsir. So it's kind of good. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, help us and bless us with the understanding of the Quran. Bless us with this understanding of Surah Rahman, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Help us to be grateful to you. Help us to be thankful to you. Help us to worship you in the proper form for all that you have created in the heavens and the earth. Ya Kareem, Ya Rahman. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين جزاك الله خيرا. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you in this great month of Ramadan.